Trigger to Transform, day 14. Welcome back. Thank you for deciding to come and be with us here in this space. You get a little different vantage point in my background today because I'm in bed. I'm still working on getting back to 100%. And I am 100% committed to coming here every day for the next 90 days. Well, I guess we don't have 90 days anymore. We have about 76 days, which I'm really excited about. So, thank you. Ouch, for choosing yourself. Ow. I don't know what I did to my leg. And coming back into the space again and again and again and again. I'm still, like I mentioned, not feeling great. But I am feeling well enough to be triggered. So, before we begin, like, subscribe, and share. And if this information is not for you, please share it with someone who is intentional about their transformation and really looking to make a change in their lives. So my first trigger point for this evening, before I do the check-in with you all, is y'all could have told me about my screen not being in the right orientation. Somebody could have just left a message. Goddess, turn your camera horizontal. I'm learning. So when I went back and watched the videos from my computer and saw that they were in that, I feel like I'm starting over. Trigger, because it triggered my perfectionism. Oh, what do you mean I'm doing it wrong? It triggered my perfectionism. What do you mean it doesn't look like I want it to look? It triggered my perfectionism. So let's just say tonight, see, this is what the design of triggers are, for me to be in alignment with what it is that I truly want. I want these videos to be pristine. And I understand, like right now, I'm having my lighting issues. I don't have my ring light, ring camp. None of that stuff is operating right now because I'm in bed. And I'm going to take it step by step. So that's why I'm coming in here to say thank you. So much gratitude for just being with me on the journey while I figure it out, y'all. Right? Sometimes you just gotta press play. So tell me, you hear my stomach? This is how you know I'm not feeling well. I'm not making this up, y'all. I'm not making it up. I wish I was. Oh God. Anyway, tell me how you're doing. What has been your trigger to create a transformation? See, I'm gonna listen first. What has been your trigger? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, for those of you that said you don't know what your trigger is, continue to look and see how you respond to it. I was appalled. The videos just look the way the videos look when they're in that vertical reality from your cell phone. And not that I couldn't record it from my computer. I didn't. And I'm still not. I'm still recording on my phone. Right? But it's just the smallest thing. We sometimes think that these triggers and these transformations got to be huge. No, they have to be in alignment with what it is that you are up to. And that's how they'll continue to show up. You'll continue to see your triggers. So if you think that you're not being triggered, then you are playing it safe. You're playing it way safe. If you feel like you're not being triggered, the chances are you're living into this system that's been designed for us and you're not living by your God-given morale. your God given moral, your God given ethic. Okay. And if you are entirely too triggered by things, it's on the opposite end of the spectrum. You've allowed things to bother you in a way that takes you into some default, whatever that looks like, right? So, wherever you are within the spectrum, congratulations and again, welcome. There's nothing wrong. It's just a matter of becoming more balanced, right? You don't want to be so detached that it's like, and you don't want to be too delusional where you are just popping off the chains for no reason. All right? So I'm glad. I'm glad for you. Um, so I mentioned that I was getting back into work mode with developing this channel and actually creating like a lesson plan. Now, we're 2 weeks in, and the first 13 days was really about me getting comfortable about coming in here, not putting too much pressure on myself. It's like the first 2 weeks of school, right, for me. I am a customized teacher where I don't really teach based upon what someone, like a curriculum, so to speak. I build my own curriculums, I create my own lesson plans, and it's based upon the feedback that I get from my students. That's how I've been inside of my therapy settings previously with one-on-one clients, with group count, with group therapy. I don't go with a preconceived notion or a predisposition about what should be taught. This go round in developing this conversation and system and learning environment, I wanted to take it slow to see where I was, right? This is really about my journey to being triggered to transform something within myself. And I just decided to take everybody with me, assuming that everybody wanted to go, right? But what everyone needs to learn in this time is really different, right? And my scale of knowledge is pretty vast and deep as it relates to transformation because I've done it spiritually, from my foundation of Christianity and developing myself into understanding my spirituality and not detaching from Christianity, because of course you can't detach from the foundation, but to develop it in a way where I understood greater. I've done it physically. I was once 280 pounds. I weigh somewhere around 159, probably a little less now that I'm not feeling well, right? So I've transformed myself that way. I'm still working in the financial realm. I teeter totter. So that's one place that I would love to see the consistency grow, right? So I keep working towards that. That's a new trigger, right? I have new responsibilities. My responsibilities have drastically changed and include some major responsibilities, right? And so as my finances shift and my responsibilities shift, I've got to level up. And that means that I've got to get uncomfortable, right? I have transformed my life relationally, right? With men, with my sisterhood, with my mother, with my son, with my father, who I only met eye to eye, face to face, and have had a deep relationship with in the last 4 years. Right. So I do this work. I also hold a degree in transformative leadership, a master's degree in transformative leadership. I've worked with families in advocacy. I'm a speech and developmental therapist by trade. I say by trade, but that's where my education is, right? And this space brings all of that together, right? And so I am able to offer the support that I am offering. I'm not here guessing about the knowledge. I've got that. I just want to organize it in a way that makes sense and is comprehensible and engaging, because I can shoot a whole bunch of words out here at you, but that's not my intention. So tonight, I really spent time working on a lesson plan, if you will, that still doesn't feel like I'm working on a structure that's open enough to carry this space, to hold this container that allows for it to breathe, but also provides something, right? And that's what's important to me. So over the next few weeks, and I'll probably take this in 2-week increments just to feel it out, right? Because nothing works the same all the time. And what's worked for the first 2 weeks definitely is not going to work for the second 2 weeks, especially if the damn cameras can't turn the wrong way. Child. Child. So that's what we're up to. So you'll notice a little bit, right? So I'm also using my triggers to enhance what it is that I'm developing. I am a demonstration of the work that I'm talking about in so many ways. And every day, I mean, not every day, but I try to give you all a glimpse into what it is that we're up to through my lens, through my life. This is a system. This is a system that we're building within ourselves. Okay. And while we build this system, there's work that has to be done, right? And so, how do we tailor this work to ourselves? And that's what I've been working on, right? So, I'm excited. I'm so excited. Now, um, this is really not something that is urgent, as in it's going away, right? This is something that is about devotion, right? About creating within my own lane. This is a different league. That's why I always say, if this is not for you, then pass it on to someone who it is for. Because this is the work. This is truly the work. So I'm really excited to bring about what happens next and to clarify, right? To clarify. And I say clarify, meaning to put the words that you've heard over the last 2 weeks into action. Like to really open the space as a leadership tool. To really operate in a sense that we are maybe even challenging our nervous system to heal. For us to no longer be stuck inside of our default mode. And that's how these weeks are going to go by. So let me share with you a little bit of what we're going to experience in the next couple of weeks, okay? Now, I'm going to be completely honest and frank with you. I gave ChatGPT all of the things that I wanted to um, create inside of this learning tool. Now, and I bring this up for a few reasons. As someone who has been inside of the education spectrum since early 2000s, um, it has been increasingly difficult sometimes to balance the life of being someone that is in the teaching therapy stratosphere because of the amount of paperwork that's involved. And ChatGPT AI is now a tool at the discretion of the leader, of the teacher, of the therapist to use in a way that is one, ethical, in integrity, and within your own moral resolve, if you will, right? So I'm not asking ChatGPT to create the lesson for me. I'm asking ChatGPT to create the structure that this space can hold, right? Um, excuse me. So I said that way for anyone that is still wondering how to utilize the AI space so that it's not stealing anybody's job. This is really about creating more potentiality in your job, deepening what it is that you're already up to. Okay. So I used ChatGPT with all the key components that I wanted to target over the next 20, no, I was thinking weeks. Um, so like I said before, 76 days. I didn't break it down into weeks because I'm doing this daily. But over the next 76 days, right, I did do weeks in time in chunks of themes, right? So, in providing that everything stays the same, right? And so some of these things we've already been working into, like our concepts, the trigger work, nervous system regulation. These are things that we've talked about. Communication upgrades, leadership lens, a little bit of the leadership lens, transformation activity, integration. We've had check ins, community reflection opportunities. Use those because that's what helps me build this out. Once I'm reading your comments and your interactions, I'm able to provide a different level of work because everyone's not at the same level, and I get that, right? Some of us are just entering this space where, like kindergartners, everything's fun and whimsical and beautiful, and some of us are getting ready to graduate, right? And those of us who are getting ready to graduate have been in this work for so long, and sometimes this information seems redundant or it seems scripted. It seems, and I'm just speaking from personal experience, it seems like the same old narrative, so to speak. But it's because we aren't engaging in the space in a way that allows us. These are for my seasoned transforming seasoned transforming souls. Um, that we're getting ready to go into another stage, right? And so when I can see the scope of the student, if you will, I don't subscribe to that in this space, but who's participating, who's a member, who is intentional, you know who I'm talking to, you. Then if you're engaged in this space, then the information can be tailored to what it is that you need as according to where you are in your journey. So that's why I left it so loose, right? And so in the next few weeks, we're going to start pulling these things together. And I say next few weeks is actually the next few days. pulling these things together in a way where it's time to take notes. The introduction's over. It's time to go to work. Okay. So we're talking about this coming week, which is the first, it's week 3. We're talking about emotional literacy and self honesty. What are our feelings versus our stories? What is our triggers versus our traumas, right? Responsibilities and our shame, right? And the more we get into this, it just kind of builds out and it gets deeper and broader and deeper and broader and deeper and broader, okay? And so we get to start looking at from there in weeks 5 and 6. We're looking at the roles versus ourself. The roles, okay? The roles being mom, dad, aunt, uncle, teacher, lawyer, CEO. Those are roles. Who are you? Self. Don't get caught up in those titles. Okay, but we'll be back to that, okay? Protection patterns, um, transgenerational trauma. Looking at our ego, releasing performance. I'm going back in. It's so many things. Let's see. Um, and then we start talking about in week 7 and 8. I had to go through here and just look again. The nervous system under oppression. It gets deep, okay? Liberated communication, talking about a shrinking, talking about apologetic speech, compliance scripts. And compliance scripts for me goes along with code switching. Not interested in that, right? But in common. These are the things that are coming about from being in this space. So sometimes you just got to start doing what it is that you said that you're going to do and let it unfold. Now, this is not set in concrete. I'm not even sure I will make it to whatever, this is, because my hope is that there are people talking to me and telling me what it is that they need, and I can build from that. But until that starts to happen, I want to provide this space with some structure. Okay. I've been talking a long time, but it's also exciting for me. And I do know that I need to rest. I've got to be obedient to my body, to myself, and to karma. I think I met my goal for this evening and coming in with what the next steps are, where I am in my own personal process, why it looks this way, what I'm learning in the process, what I hope you're learning in the process, and a clean invitation for you to come and join me, to like, subscribe, and share with those around you who are serious about their transformation. And if it's not you, that's okay. Just pass it along to the person that you know that's ready to do something different in their life. And we welcome you to come along on the journey too. Always and always. Okay? And I also had an intention to explain a little bit more about myself and who I am. And I'm trying not to reiterate all that so often, but I know people are catching these at different times. They may not catch it, the introduction to who I am. So I will do my best to continue to put that out there, because I have to hear myself say it too. I've been doing this for such a long time, and anytime I say it to myself, I'm like, damn, girl. Yeah, 20 plus years. So, and in the beginning of these 20 years, I have to say I was not calling this transformation. It really looked like uh, I don't know, torture. It really looked like trauma. And then it looked very spiritual. And from the spirituality developed the transformations and the transformative sciences and all that stuff. So it's been a work in progress. But the commonality in what it is that I'm creating, that I've always been creating, is people. And I get that, and I see that clearly within myself and everything that I've ever done. And saying it that way, I feel it behind my eyes. My eyes want to do that thing, but I'm not going to let them. Right now, trust me, it will come out. But thank you. Thank you so much for being here and being a willing participant in what we think is our future, but it's actually our now. And knowing that you're held completely in this space. Okay? I'm going to drift off and I'm going to wish you a wonderful, wonderful 2026. And I'll be back before then. But just know the change is going to happen anyway, with or without you. The change, the transformation is happening anyway. You might as well do it intentionally. All right, y'all. Be well.